Hi there, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel, a little bit about everything. Yesterday I was out in the garden and I was tilling the dirt, and my tiller ran into some issues. The problem was it wouldn't drag itself around anymore, right? And so I decided to tear it apart, and I found a few things that were wrong with it, and I'm going to share this with you. And onto the tiller. Let's take a look at the tiller, okay? Oh, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It matters. Okay, so as I was going through here, like this tiller is from 1983 or 84. And I was looking at, like, they still roll. Okay, this isn't a seal bearing. I just put oil in it. It goes better. And I had gotten into this before and I couldn't remember why. But this was the drive here. It would grab onto a piece of steel down here. So I grinded that down and I don't have that problem anymore. The cables were seized up. So, oh, I've forgotten to tighten this one. See, this is the mechanism. Okay, they're just bolt on bolt, other side of a plate. So you tighten one side up, and you can adjust. You can adjust the cable tension on it, right? And it's the same thing on the other side. If you look at the cable itself, you can tell that this is a plastic, some kind of plastic, which was used to prevent chafing, right? Well, now we're down to bare metal against metal, so I don't know how long it's going to last, but it works. So I loosened this up, and now it works. Before, what was happening was dirt and rust got in here, right? And it prevented the cable from sliding back and forth properly. Okay. And so yeah, so I loosened up the cables. They work freely. And now on to this problem here. This system of engine as a gear has two outputs. This is a 1/2 inch. I'm not sure what this is. This is a spacer here. It's not the real size of the shaft. And this one's on there pretty good. The engine runs well. But this was the pulley for the drive. Okay? And you see that? Right there at the end of my fingernail. The key made two pathways. It's almost like that the key was too small for the shaft, or the pulley was the key on the pulley was too big, because it dug into the pulley, right? So I bought a new pulley, and what I'm going to do is make a key on it. Okay, and on that pulley I gotta drill a grub screw into it. Okay, and there's a little bit of machining involved. See, this one has one grub screw only and not the second one for the key. Okay, And if you put them side by side, there are a few differences that I have to machine. Okay, I don't think that the OD here is a problem on this section here. This and here, there's a difference in size. Okay, but there might not even be a difference, like see the width there, the difference. So I have a little brooch set here. Okay, I have sizes 1/4, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16, and 1/2 inch, which is 1/2 inch is what I want. So this I need my my spacer. Okay, that's for the depth, because this key takes out, they're stepped in 7th thou or 4th thou increments, something like that. So first what they do is they make a taper on there, and then they grind in the teeth. Okay, and there's a little relief angle on the back side of each teeth. So there's more than one operation in making one of these. And what do I have here? Oh, 3/32 high speed steel. Okay, now I measured the key width and it's 3/32. If I measure this key width here, it's 3/32. So that's the key I want. It's a 1/2 inch pulley. Okay, now this one, I think it had something wider, and it did. So it had a 1/8 groove. Now I have another one here which is 1/8. So that's what I was debating. I was trying to see more closely if that key somehow got distorted or chafed down. Okay, and if I look at this more closely, it almost seems like it's worn down on one side. You know, like there's a little ridge there somewhere. So I'm over here at the press. It's kind of overkill for the job. It's a 3-ton press, but it's the only one I got. So I pressed in my sleeve, and I put the key inside the sleeve, and I lined it up with the grub screw hole. That's how it was before, right? And then you have to line it up with the slot. And first pass is without the spacer. And now I'm going to oil this. Pressure's on the back side of it, and a little bit of oil on the teeth. So I'm going to put that in there. And do my first pass. And then I'm through. So that's my first pass. You can see some slivers. Okay. Bring you up for a close-up. You can see the slivers in there. So I'm going in for my second pass. I'm going to put my spacer in there. There's my spacer. And once again, I'm going to put in my spacer and do it with the spacer. My arbor's a bit loose, so I'm being careful not to break my. I'm going to have to tighten up my. That's called an arbor, isn't it? Or my ram, the ram of the. See, once again, all the little curls in the I'm not sure if that's coming in right. There, you get a better view. All the channels, all the gullets are filled with chips. So basically that's it for this. That's it for that operation. So now I'm just going to clean up my tools, and this pulley is ready to go back on there. Okay, so over at the lathe there was one more operation that needed to be done, maybe two. The diameter of where the grub screws are doesn't matter, it's irrelevant. The keyway was put in there, fine. Now, to get this tracking properly, there's a spacer between this and the drive pinion, or the drive shaft, okay? And, no, it's not a pinion, it would be a drive shaft. Pinion gear, right? The pinion gear drives the ring gear, so. I have an automotive background. So from here, I got to chafe off the back side of this to bring it closer to the engine. And I'm just going to go off the old pulley and remove that much. Okay. And then I'm going to have to switch it around and take off the OD because it's too big. Okay. So I set this to 450, okay. Getting it perfect in the center right now is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It's going to matter when I chafe down the OD because I don't want to get an out of balance condition. So now I'm checking the shaft run out, and I don't have any. Make sure. Okay, there's tension on it. Like, if for you guys, if you want to see 0 there. Right? It's not moving. So that's perfect. You'll never get an out of balance condition unless there's heavy spots in the pulley. Okay, so let's measure the OD. The OD of this, the old one, is 2 1/4. This one is 2 1/2. Okay, let's bring this down a bit. Just going to touch off. Set to 0. And going for 20 thou. I got lots to go down. There's a wobble in it. I'm going to have to make sure that it's not my setup that's bad, and actually machine the center of that groove. Okay, so I'm down to 41. $35. 27, 20 thought to go. Six. Maybe you'll see it better at a slower speed. Not that slow. See, there's a slight oscillation. Well, I stopped just in time. What I noticed was, even if I bring this down to the correct width, I am not at the correct OD. So this is going to have to be taken down some more. And nothing is telling me that this surface here where my fingernail is, right? Okay, once I get down the right OD, then I can mill this down. So I get the same duplicate pulley, right? But nothing's telling me that this surface here where my fingernail is, that's where the spacer is going to ride. That still might be shifted off to one side or another. So I'm going to turn down the OD first. And I have to create an arbor for it. Okay? And since it's a one-time thing, instead of taking out my chuck, I'm just take a piece of 5/8, mill it down to 1/2 inch. But first I'm putting in my pilot hole, and then I'm going to run it with my live center. Okay? So that way I'll be true to the spindle axle on the lathe. So this will be a perfect part. So I've drilled my hole, my pilot hole. Now I'm going to get my live center. So this is my live center here. I put it in the tailstock. Bring it up to here. I'm going to mill down this. Oh, no, I don't have to. I just have to back off the tailstock. So I'll have enough room here. And I'm going to use the grub screws to actually pin it to the shaft. So I have something to machine on to. Okay, so tighten that there. Tighten the tailstock. Okay, so now I can nail this down to 1/2 inch. And I don't know which. I'm cutting it close, but it fits. Going in 10 thou. Just do a spin pass, see what I get. I can already tell it's not cleaning up, so I'm just gonna... Well, I've come to a decision. This is really a 1/8 key. And it's somehow it managed to damage the face at the end of my fingernail. So it's 3/32 now. It's a 32 smaller. I tried to remove the pin, but I can't. and I'd have to use some force, and for now I'm just going to machine that 1/8 and put that on there with the grub screws and see how long it holds. So I'm just a little bit of oil, cutting oil, and just a slight amount of pressure. Okay, so that should be good for my drill start. Okay, now get me a drill. This is the size I needed. Okay, I'm going to run this at 600 or 750. 800 should be okay. But there is a formula. Run a drill too fast or you downforce it too hard, you're gonna dull the edge. Plus, once engaged, you don't want it. Pet drill is harder on a drill than just letting it feed through, right? But sometimes pet drilling is necessary. And I'm through. Alright, on to the tapping. I'm going to use this as a guide, my drill chuck, okay? So, bring that up a bit. Take up my drill. Okay, and get me my tap. So I'm going to use this as a guide because everything's lined up with the spindle, right? I haven't moved this part or the table, so. And I'm going to bring this down, and it's just to start it in there. Then I'm going to use a tap handle. Okay. So just slight pressure and then tighty-righty, right? Just feeding it in by hand. You could power tap with this if you can stop it in time and if you could run it on a low gear. Like I have a high and low range on this thing, but it's still, I know I'm not damaging anything this way, so. But you could do some power tapping with it. Alright, so now for the handle. Okay. Okay, so this is the tiller. It's from, first of all, it's a turf till from Co-op. It's a Canadian thing, right? Cooperative. And the tiller itself, I took off the guard here to see what was going on with the drive belts. And I needed both drive belts. They were torn to shreds. See what I mean? Like there's nothing left of this one. Okay. And the other one was starting to get cracks in it, like here. Can you see that? So back to putting on the belts. This goes here, and it goes around here on the other one. But of course, this wasn't I'm going to try to take this thing off. I don't know if I can because the engine wants to turn over, right? So maybe I can sort of get it on there. If I can get it going beyond. So that's one side of it. Now let's get the other side on there. Okay, so it's on there. Now I'm going to go beyond. Go beyond it. Put the pulley on. And slide it on in its spot. Nope. You gotta get it in a little deeper than that. Okay. So that's on there. I hope it doesn't leave tension on the belt. Right? Okay, so this goes on here. such. So I'm going to tighten that and tighten the pulley. Okay. I have some company. You might think I'm talking to myself, but I'm actually shooting a video, right? Okay, so I'm going to put some removable lock thread. I think my battery's going to run out. I'm going to finish assembling this and then try it out. Little dad. It's removable, so it shouldn't stick in there. Now, for the other one. So now for the test. Some choke.